Greetings one and all, and welcome back to From the Depths, where two of our Kunanoons are engaging some of the Twin Guard fleet here. We've got an interesting looking little flyer that used, by the looks of it, balloons to get up into the sky. Oh my lord, what kind of damage is being done to us over there? Let's have a look. Our two Kunanoons, oh actually, sorry, it's two Kunanoons and a Panaka. They are actually doing more damage to each other than they are to the enemy, I fancy. That is not a good time. And where are the enemy ships? We've got a fast-moving ship there with a laser. Some sort of spinal mount laser. I like it. That's actually remarkably cool. I do like that quite a lot. And has that aircraft? The aircraft has been blown out of the sky. Both Kunanoons are now focusing all of their firepower on the laser ship. It is unlikely to get even remotely close to either of the Kunanoons at this point. That was not a bad engagement, honestly. Very well done for yourselves. Very well done. And these tiny little craft, what are they? Just torpedo craft? I love it. So much style. Hopelessly outmatched by our Kunanoon, but so much style. I hate to say this, Kunanoon, but honestly, I think these ships look better. I just don't know what to do about this. Actually, I do know what to do. I'm going to take you over to have a look at a ship that I think looks even better still. Right, well done, Bobblecouvernalt fleet. You can pull out of battle. Let's have a look at there. That's all going okay. As you can see, a little bit of time has passed. But we are locked in battle. But I'm going to flip over to the Hairbanu. And I'm going to show you what I've been working on. And is the Hairbanu out of play? Ah, it is. Okay. Well, that's not too bad then. Let's zoom right out. And we're about to load this in. Let's have a look at the Hairbanu. There we go. Oh wow. You sunk in the water? No. Alright. Now, as you can see, I put a bit of effort into it. I've also taken off the rear turret. I need to adjust the size of this hull to fit the same size as this one, which has grown a little bit to accommodate this 6-barreled turret. Ironically, this turret is a lot easier to build. I was just thinking about it in the wrong way. Let me demonstrate. Where am I? I am... Oh, damn it, I was going to walk down here. This is the bridge, if you couldn't tell. It is a very nice looking bridge. But I think you get the full effect from approaching it. I didn't want to go with a stocky square building bridge this time, so I sunk it in and gave it a bit of a slope leading up to the bridge itself. And you have to jump down here. The only problem with this is that the way that the water effect happens, even though this isn't flooded, it looks like it is. But as you can see, this bridge, I went for a very Warhammer 40k, very kind of weirdly ornate death machine. So we've got gold fixtures. I've got 2 pumps because they look kind of cool underneath the lamps. They make it look like one giant lamp of some sort. We've got another couple of lamps. We've got a gold vehicle control. Of course, a blood red throne. This isn't a captain's chair. This is a throne. It's spiky. And menaces with spikes of black and gold. And at the back, we have onyx and gold. I have secretly snuck in the control for all of our water pumps. But I really like this. This is something that I actually take quite a lot of pride in. I think it looks awesome. It probably won't protect me nearly as much as it should, but damn it, it'll look amazing while it's doing it. Right, now, quickly to go over 1 or 2 slight changes I've made. I've moved these closer together to give a little bit more gap here between the entryway to the bridge and the rear of these 2 pairs. I've also slightly adjusted the shape of the hole, the hard point this turret is slotted into. I've, of course, as you can see, painted everything. The propellers and the rudders are all gold trimmed. We've got a nice red stripe right down the side of this. I've also slightly changed the shape inside so that it's actually really hard to see because it's all painted black. But there's no longer a lip here. So I'm going to have the entire space to build the turret and have it rotate, which is going to be a big thing for us. This I haven't worked on at all, but I'm fairly certain this is going to change quite dramatically based on the things that I've learned with this beast of a turret. I will give you a quick demonstration, though it's sometimes a little bit hard to control it because I've got to get really close to catch all 6 turrets. Now, we can aim quite high up. It's got a 45-degree elevation, 45-degree azimuth, and this is how frequently it fires. Not nearly as frequently, unfortunately. And it doesn't always have all of its shots as explosive. Some of them are just armor-piercing, which is a bit of a shame, but I think that trying to change it would lose some of this turret's main selling points. Now we're going to shrink this down to have a look again. It's going to be a little bit hard. You'll see how I was messing around with different types of paints before I settled on what I wanted. But the important details is each firing piece is exactly the same as all of the others. They do hold a little bit more ammo than that, but obviously I've just been firing and each shot takes 29 ammo. I don't actually have any ammo barrels on this yet to replenish the ammo that I use in testing. It has a recoil of 5,095, barely even. In fact, I'm fairly certain that this ship doesn't even rock despite that recoil. Uses 29 ammo per shot, has an accuracy of 0.69 that is achieved largely with motor driven barrels and barrels. I haven't got any recoil reducing barrels on this. I just don't need it with this ship. It doesn't care about the recoil. Armor piercing 8.7. It's not particularly high. It's enough to get through the light metal alloy, but not enough to get through metal blocks, which is a shame. And it's got a fairly low explosive damage, 120. Reasonable explosive range, you know, it's not amazing, certainly. It's got 661 kinetic damage, a reload time of 1.18 seconds, and as you saw, every second volley will be explosive and armor piercing, whereas the others will just be armor piercing. It has got a phenomenal range. Pretty much it can hit it. It'll be able to engage anything up to 2,000, which is where the bullets will just despawn anyway. But the way I managed to get all 6 of these barrels to work, I'm actually pretty happy with. It occurred to me that I just flat out didn't need the sort of room that I was allowing for the reloaders. Don't need it. Flat out don't need it. So I've gone away from that and gone instead towards having most of these. In fact, most of these parts down here are actually painted, so it's incredibly hard to see. Should have thought of that, really. I do apologize. But in a nutshell, almost everything is branching straight off of the 6-way connectors, and the firing pieces themselves, along with the advice I received in comments, are upside down. So I placed them upside down, I put a block above them, fixed them upside down, then made sure there was a block to the side of them, and then removed the ones above, or at least I did with these ones down here, I believe. Let's find you. Have you got a block above? No, you don't. So, for example, that, it would not be possible to place it like this, but it is once it's in place, because it kind of attaches to things on the sides. So it's all works there. Now, down the front, in fact, at some point I will take away all the paint on this. Maybe I could do that now, but it would be really hard to get in there and actually see everything, unfortunately. But as I was saying, most of this is connected directly off the 6-way connectors. So the gauge increases, of which there are about 5, the explosive and armor-piercing warheads, and because of that, I could have them 2 side by side. So one there, 2, and then another 6-way controller here. If this was an ammo reloader, an auto reloader, then I wouldn't have been able to do this, because the auto reloader would have been getting a connection bonus with this, which would have meant that effectively these 2 turrets were sharing components, which it won't allow. But when you're just having the ammo boxes or the warheads directly off the 6-way controllers, that works, and it works remarkably well. I do have some reloaders, and let's see if I can, we can barely see them, but I'm going to try and unpaint them. This is going to probably not work, but I'll do my best just so I can illustrate this, because I think it's an important point. Let's go, oh my lord, it looks like a mess down here. Right, let's go about here. There we go. Now this is something I did, and when I realized it, I was like, oh, why didn't I think of doing this before? Basically, along here, I've got one reloaded there, and I've orientated it so that it's moving along the line. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and these 2 are sharing the bonus. Now, that one is giving the bonus to both of these. So that one ammo box is pulling down the reload time twice as a result. And so each one only has 3 auto reloaders, but each one has a connection with 3, except for the top one, which only has a connection with 2. And that gives a fair reduction in reload speed. Without these, the reload speed is about 17 seconds per shot. With them, just a little bit over a minute and a third, which, as you can imagine, is quite acceptable. But there we go. That is the Hair Bennu. Now, I should probably add in that turret over here, but I'm going to need to make sure that this is reshaped to accommodate it. So, we're going to do that on camera. Let's get down here, and this will also allow me to test whether, when I've painted something, if the turret itself will remember the paint. Because this is going to be quite important. Right, so I'm going to need to expand this out once in either direction, and this once in either direction. So, okay. Let's push this back. Let's also put the mirror line down first. Haha! I'm remembering. Probably means some terrible, terrible calamities on its way, by the way. If, you know, I'm sure there's some sort of clause. If I remember the mirror line thrice in a row, then doom has come upon us. Oh, that's not good. That is really not good. Let me just double check. Do I have anything here? Oh, actually, no, I do. Okay, that's fine. I've only got it wider along there then, I guess. Along the sides, rather. I wonder if this is even necessary in that case. But I've started, so like Magnus Magnuson, I shall finish. We need to have light metal alloy. Now, the reason why I use this up top on the deck is because even with pitch black paint with intensity of 0.99, which is the highest intensity you can have, you get a different effect with metal versus light metal alloy. And I do kind of like the difference there. So that's why I'm keeping that. Right, have we still got the mirror line? Yes, we do. Good. Let's sink down, get these in. So one there. And let's rotate that around. One here, one here. There we go. That should be fine. Now I can quickly make sure I'm on the fleet secondary. Now the nice thing with this is that if I want to, if I was to change my mind about the colours, because I'm using the fleet colours, any changes I make will be copied across all ships that use that. It's true of all of the colours, really. But these ones specifically are quite useful, I think. For example, just to give you an example, let's make this green. There we go. All black across all of my fleets will have changed colour. But we obviously don't want that. No. Let's go back to that and pull it back down. There we go. Right. Okay, well, now that we've got this, we may need to... No, it should actually still be centered. So, all that we need to do is go to load sub-object, because I've already saved this. We'll have the 6-barrel main gun. We want to rotate it so it's facing backwards. Now, where are you? There you are. And hopefully... Is that going to work? Is it working? Is it in the right place? It looks like it is. Oh, that looks glorious. This ship is really starting to flesh out a little bit now. I may have to move these back a little bit, though, because they're quite close to that turret, and I don't like that at all. But, let's actually see if this works. Can it rotate all the way? Now, the problem is I can't get quite close enough. Let's just shoot at this mountain a little bit. There we go. That isn't too bad. Now, if you remember, we're going to have 2 turrets engaging enemies with that kind of firepower. It's not the most potent turret in the world. In my opinion, it's probably a little bit lackluster. But I think with 2 of them, it's going to give this an incredible amount of firepower. I probably should have built a shield into the turret, really, before I saved it. Might be worth doing now, but I'm not going to be able to do that until I settle on a shield design. And that is going to come much later, because if I come down here... Well, actually, I can't even get in there yet at the moment because I've sealed it off. But we're probably going to have the shield directly down here. we go into this large cavernous section underneath the bridge. I may even seal this off with a wall and then just have a large engine down here. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing in regards to laser defense yet, because that's going to take a lot of room and I don't think we quite have it. And we are sitting quite low in the water. This ship is incredibly heavy, so let's adjust this slightly. Let's put that up to 0.6. There we go. Make sure that this is actually all set up. Yes, it is. And now let's go and have a quick look how that's affected our propellers. The propellers are fine. And the waterline is a little bit closer to the lip now. It's not as bad. Okay, so that's pretty nice. In fact, actually from out here, you can get a proper look at the ship. Oh, this is glorious. I'm almost tempted, from what I just saw then, from this angle, my lord, that looks good. The massive keel that I've got down here, there's a part of me that thinks that instead of having one single keel going down the bottom, connected directly up the middle, have an angular connection there and two of those keels on either side. Maybe a third one down the bottom. I don't know. Maybe just having those as air pumps. Though another point that I failed to illustrate to people early on is that this sort of bulbous section along the side is actually full of air pumps. I've got separate compartments with air pumps in them to help maintain the buoyancy. I had to narrow this air pump a little bit because of the guns and this one as well. But there are several air pumps through here. So it'll actually be fairly hard for any particular damage along the side to take out all of the buoyancy in one go. So that's what I've got there. It does mean that it's not as heavily coated in armor, but it does mean that even an enormously heavy vehicle like this isn't going to have too much trouble. I could increase the buoyancy even more if I needed to. And I might do once I start adding all of these extra guns, because they are going to add an enormous amount of weight. But I am pretty happy with where the Hair is going right now. I decided that I didn't really want to go the route of having a white ship, much like the Kunanuns, because I wanted this to be distinct. I wanted this to have an identity all of its own. So the Hair has gone more or less the exact opposite direction. And in regards to the weapons that I've decided on, even though I haven't actually started building them, I think I like the idea that I originally started with. And quite a few people in the comments have reinforced that feeling that I want to make a gunboat. Not necessarily a gunboat, but a ship that pretty much uses guns as its weapons. I might have laser defense for missiles, because obviously that is a very strategically important part of a ship. But I'm pretty much set on the idea that all of these are going to be gun turrets at the side that will have a different sort of firing frequency, probably a bit faster than these ones, and will just be large single barrel turrets with explosive shells firing frequently. Not like 0.29 per second, or maybe not, I don't know. But they will either one turret or one barrel or two. I'm not entirely certain on that, but they will be there with an 80 elevation and a 45 azimuth, so that they can attack sea or air vehicles. Whereas this is primarily an anti-ship cannon. It can possibly hit some aircraft if they're particularly slow-moving, but realistically, this is there to blow up enemy ships, whereas these will be there to engage smaller ships that get much closer, or are moving too fast for this one to necessarily hit it, or aircraft, so that they'll be able to kind of function in both roles, but again, not specifically for taking out aircraft, whereas this is just going to be either a quad or a 6-barrel turret that is designed entirely for taking down aircraft. So very small gauge, very low gauge, but high explosive. Probably no armor piercing. Won't need it. It just needs to pelt the thing with explosives enough to knock out thrusters, enough to knock out aerofoils, enough to knock out propellers. Whatever it can do to take it out of the sky and stop it being maneuverable, that's all this turret is there for. Once it's no longer maneuverable, the smaller turrets will start to be able to engage, and if it's particularly slow, then the large turrets may be able to weigh in on the battle as well. And that's the idea with this. This is just going to bring huge, staggering amounts of firepower to the battle. But that is enough talking about what I'll be doing. I'm probably going to do a lot of the building off camera between this episode and the next, but now I've explained what I'm going to be doing, I will probably set up the small turrets, and this time I won't paint the inside, so I can actually show you what I'm thinking with that, and I'll probably do the AA gun on camera in the next episode, but we have got several enemies here. We need to deal with them. Oh my lord, he's coming from the hairbenu. Oh, that's gonna be decidedly terrible. I may actually have to put an AI on this and actually set it up just for an engagement ahead of time. Oh, that would be kind of nasty. But we're going to hop over to the Kunanoon, and we're gonna wrap this up with a fight. Let's get over here. Let's have a look at what we're going to be fighting here. It's going to be a twin guard again. And we're hopefully going to be able to bring quite a lot of Daka to this engagement. So I want the Kunanoon and the Eversong brought into play, please. There we go. Wow, you haven't brought all of your forces into play. That's quite interesting. But this thing is just being torn apart by lasers at the moment. The Pinakas are absolutely decimating it. It'll probably be gone long before that missile volley arrives. Looking at how much damage these lasers are doing. Oh, well, actually, I might take that back. The weapon system is gone, but the hull is resisting death. Won't be for very much longer, though. And there we go. Now, I very much like it if you would spawn in. There we go. Oh, wow. You have 2 support craft. I like it. I really like those things just launching like that. And then second stage rockets kick in. That is a beautiful way for those missiles to get into a fight. I really, really appreciate that. Let's have a quick look at you. Oh, I like the green. Oh, the dark green is really quite nice. I may have to consider that color for future ships, maybe even on the hairbenu, which still is hairbenu, but eventually will have an enu. We've got that missile should be taken down with the 2 Kunanoons able to engage it. Really? Is that going to get through? The little missile that could. Well done. But I think this is pretty much it for you. I'm really liking the aesthetic of those rotating rings. Those are fantastic. That was absolutely beautiful. Rotating in different directions and everything. Again, not especially effective in combat, or at least not effective against my ships. My god, the style points the Twin Guard get are absolutely staggering. Off the charts. I need to up my game. It's clear to me. I absolutely need to up my game if I hope to be able to continue this fight. Because as we all know, the better looking ships are the most effective ships. It's the way it works. Wow, quite a fire show there from the Kunanoons, though. I approve. But before you shoot yourselves, how about I pull you out? There we go. Let's get you completely out of this engagement. Right, well, another enemy slain. We have got a hopeless amount of resources, which is fantastic for us. I may actually have you guys move into position. Well, I like the idea of taking the hairbenu into a fight, but I'll have you guys nearby to help. Right, so between this episode and the next, oh my lord, that's just going to continue to get impossibly hard to fight. I'm making things hard for myself by taking so long to build the hairbenu, but between this episode and the next, I am going to have the hairbenu refitted with its secondary deck guns, all 6 of them. I may have some of them using different kinds of ordnance than others, because there are 6 cannons, so I might actually look at making some of them twin-barreled, much more rapid fire, low gauge, others higher gauge. And in the next episode, we will probably have a little bit of a scrap without our AA gun, and then following that, I'll work on the AA gun, and then at that point, the hairbenu, along with the Kunanoon escort, will be moving up there to try and free the HMSS Goblin. It's a tall order, but hopefully we're going to be able to meet this challenge head on. But that is going to be it from me for this episode. we'll take a last look at the Haibenu as it is coming along. It's actually quite a deep boat. It's not quite as slick as I once thought, but I still really like the shape of this vessel. And I'm especially liking the colour scheme that we've got going at the moment. But we will actually jump into the Haibenu. We'll end this episode in our lavish, opulent captain's quarters. Our bridge. This is the bridge fit for a titan, I tell you. But that is it from me. Once again, I do hope you've enjoyed, and will be joining me for the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.